My wife boned my best friend. I refuse to forgive them, and I'm plotting to ruin their lives. Am I the a-hole? So Poophead, my former best friend, and Sarah have been like family to my wife and I for several years, practically ever since we moved in across the street from them. The four of us were extremely tight. That wasn't the only thing that was tight.
Hey, yo.
Your wife's our kids are the same age as theirs, and all are good friends. We are one big family union. We did dinner together a few times a week. We went on vacations together. I truly saw Poophead as a brother, and my wife and Sarah were very close too. 5 months ago, I was completely blindsided by the discovery of an affair between my wife and Poophead. My wife had left her email open on her computer, and I saw an email
You're
from
cheating over email? Fucking old people, dude.
I saw an email from her longtime therapist saying that Poophead would be joining her at an upcoming session again.
Wait, why is Poophead going to therapy?
I thought, WTF? My mind started racing. Why in the world would Poophead be going into her therapy sessions without my knowledge? I did a search and found some other emails from the therapist proving that Poophead had been going to sessions together with her for about 6 weeks.
What?
It is getting weirder. I checked our mobile phone account and discovered that since late summer, they had been exchanging hundreds of texts every day, peaking at nearly 500 per day by the holidays.
How do you even send that many texts? That's like all day.
You just got to be like, just like constantly sending back and forth. Speaking of the holidays, my wife and I hosted both of our families, parents, siblings, etc., for both Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner, and Poophead and Sarah joined us either for dinner or after dinner on both holidays.
Does Sarah know though?
That's the question. Text records showed the entire time that they were at our house celebrating with our families, my wife and Poophead were texting each other from across the room. They were doing that pretty much every time the four of us hung out for months. And, you know, all day, every day, just in general. But what bothers me the most is that they were doing it with Sarah and I right
Oh my God.
there.
Probably made it hotter.
Yeah.
So warm.
I confronted my wife with the evidence, and she admitted that yes, she and Poophead had fallen in love. It just happened. I don't know how, but I love him, and I just don't feel anything for you anymore.
Oh, anything?
Anything. I'm so sorry.
You feel nothing for the father of your children?
They had gone on a school district trip together. Something had happened in her hotel room, and things had moved quickly from there.
Oh God, I'm so sorry, OP. That sucks.
She explained as I lay face down on the couch, unable to look at her, that they had already made plans to move out and divorce me and Sarah, and while they didn't plan to move in together immediately because of the kids, they'd probably do so eventually.
Oh.
The meetings with the therapist were supposedly mostly for the purpose of finding a way to break this to me and Sarah as gently as possible because they were so very concerned for our well-being.
I know I'm stabbing you in the heart right now, but I'm really concerned about like taking out the knife. So like, how do you want me to do it? Do you want me to twist it a little bit more?
Sarah and I are fairly certain that they weren't planning on telling us about the affair at all, and were simply going to discover their feelings for one another several months down the line after they'd come up with some other reason to divorce the two of us. Yeah. Oh my God. My wife moved out 2 months ago. I was and still am utterly destroyed. I cry every day. I cried writing the first few paragraphs of the story just now. I worry nonstop about the impact on our kids, but I'm also not exactly a shrinking violet when I feel that I've been wronged. And in this case, I was objectively very, very wronged. You are correct, OP.
Very wrong.
So a couple of weeks ago, Poophead ran for a Board of Education seat as a pretty extreme underdog. I helped him with his campaign materials and debate prep, and my wife, as a well-known school district employee, this becomes important later.
I sense some vengeance a brewing.
Well, she got the word out the best she could. Much to our surprise, he actually won in a squeaker by just a few dozen votes. Being on the board became the center of Poophead's world. He joined every committee that he could. This turned into the foundation of his affair with my wife, as they were constantly going to school events and meeting together on evenings and weekends.
Oh man.
Once I discovered the affair, my thoughts turned pretty quickly to revenge.
Nice.
And It occurred to me that the extramarital affair between a member of the Board of Education and an employee of the school district
Probably doesn't look too good.
yeah, that was at least bad politics and possibly violated district policy. Making things far worse for them was that my wife was in the running for an open administration position, and everyone knew that she was more or less guaranteed the job and the major pay raise that came with it. Oh man. She had just finished her master's degree in school administration at the urging of her principal and the superintendent so that she could be promoted to this specific position.
OP's hatched a plan to bring it all down.
Oh God. I had plenty of evidence of the affair. Texts from both of them admitting to it, text records showing that they were texting hundreds of times a day.
They're just texting about work.
I considered simply emailing all of the evidence to the board and the superintendent, but I felt like, as the grieving, betrayed spouse, that I might not be seen as a credible source. So instead, I invented a fictitious, furious friend who is planning on showing up to the next board meeting and publicly shaming the two of them for their affair. I told my wife that I tried to talk this person down, but couldn't guarantee that they wouldn't show up and humiliate them publicly. As I expected, this led Poophead to conclude that the only option was for him to preemptively admit the affair to the board directly.
Wow.
The superintendent subsequently recommended that Poophead resign, which he did. Sarah said that he was utterly humiliated and crushed and barely got out of bed for a few days afterward. Once word of the affair and Poophead's resignation started getting around, the superintendent, a longtime friend of both my wife and Poophead, contacted my wife and tearfully informed her that it was no longer politically appropriate for her to be promoted to an administrative position within the district.
I mean, hey, they deserve it.
My wife and I, despite our crumbling marriage, took our son out to breakfast together on his birthday, and a parent stopped by our table to congratulate her on her new role. She said thanks, then excused herself to go cry in the bathroom for a while. I let the dust settle for a couple of weeks, and then, right before my wife moved out, let them in on my little secret. There was never a furious friend threatening to expose them in the first place. It was me. Word of all of this had gotten around our fairly small town, which Poophead grew up in and my wife worked in for nearly 20 years.
Wow.
My wife refuses to talk to me about how things are at work right now, but I've heard from some people I know in the district that her formerly spotless reputation has taken a major hit.
Checks out.
Poophead, formerly a gregarious social presence in our neighborhood and at events and pubs in town, has completely gone underground and emerges only to mow his lawn. He's moving out soon to a crappy little townhouse, which is all he can afford due to all the child support he's going to have to pay his wife.
Nice.
My wife and Poophead claim that they plan on trying to make things work together despite all of the public humiliation. I wish them lots of luck with that. I'm sure that it will be a lot of fun to show their faces in town together again.
Dude, that's the rough part of living in a small town. You can't escape your shit. If you fuck up, it is everywhere.
That's and it's like, what can you do from there? Like anytime it's like
you gotta move towns.
It's like a celebrity being canceled and you see him on the street and you're like,
fuck you.
Oh man. Like,
it's
what?
like Jonah Hill. He's like one of those celebrities that like, I think I'm cooler than.
Hey Sam, you're pretty cool.
Thanks.
You're way cooler than Jonah Hill.
Thanks.
Way
So
cooler.
are you.
Thank
you. The bar
you.
is low though. The Jonah Hill is.
That is true. We're not making a huge leap, but that's okay. You know.
Oh man, I feel even bad saying that. It feels like I'm punching down.
Punch.
The family I babysit for shared private videos of me behind my back. I'm quitting today. Am I the a-hole? I've worked for a really nice, normal family for a few months. At least I thought so. All of these adjectives are about to go down the toilet.
Oh.
NK is 10 months old and very sweet. She's super active though, and she often fights me on nappy changing. I have a gentle approach, and if she rolls/crawls away, I just encourage her to come back. Let her play for a moment and then try again. So as you can imagine, it can take a while.
I can imagine.
NF has cameras in both kids' rooms, which I don't mind and was informed of, and I was told they were just for safety, mostly just for at night, with the rooms being spaced out and noise not traveling.
Hey, makes sense.
Well, a family friend who knows NF contacted me last night showing me MB had shared a video of me from the nanny cam of me changing NK's nappy on Facebook with a caption like, like nanny taking half an hour to change a nappy, laughing emoji.
So not only are you going to share these private videos of me, you're also going to insult my diaper changing skills?
There's comments basically making fun of me. One person even said to find a new nanny. She replied saying things like, we love our nanny, but was in hysterics watching this. Not going to lie, I cried for an hour.
Oh.
I'm a very private and highly anxious person, and I feel so hurt and betrayed by MB. I work part-time, was last there after she shared the video, and she didn't say anything, and I'm supposed to be working on Thursday, but I'm dreading going in. I kind of just want to ghost her and never go back again. I'm so humiliated, and I don't know how to deal with this going forward. So these are some things that OP has done. I've drafted out a response, but I'm going to sleep on it and send it tomorrow. I have no intention of returning to their house. I've started to update my contract to make my boundaries clear, and I'm heartbroken because I love those kids, but I have to put myself first. Thank you for helping me see that. I guess I will update once I've sent the message, and there is an update. But what do you think?
And everyone just has like a different, so at the end of the day,
comfort.
if someone doesn't want that, then it is what it is. Like, you have to respect that.
So, update. I've sent the message. Basically, I told her I saw the video and that it's inappropriate for her to share footage of me online without my consent, that I feel disrespected, and I no longer will be a nanny for their family. Thanks for everyone giving me the courage. And there is another update. So,
Ooh.
I let her know I was quitting, that I saw the post, etc. She took a few hours to respond, and her response was unhinged. She told me I had no right snooping on her social media, and the footage was of her baby, so it was fine. She asked me to please come in until she found a replacement. I told her I was uncomfortable returning and that the video and comments really upset me. She offered to remove the cameras, but I stood strong and told her I was not coming back. Snooping on social media. Social media is public. What do you mean snooping?
Like, also just the hilarious hypocrisy of like, let me post this video of you having, no idea that we're recording and posting you, like, but you're snooping on me? Wait, what?
Yeah, kind of ridiculous. I asked her to remove the video, and according to the family friend, it's been taken down. However, she must have blocked me as I can't see her Facebook anymore. I haven't heard from her since Wednesday. Thank you again for everyone encouraging me. I'm such a non-confrontational person, and I think if I didn't post here, I would have never said anything. A nanny friend of mine is moving overseas, so her family has an opening coming up, and they are amazing. My friend has let them know I'm looking, and so I may have a new family already.
Yeah, I think this is the best possible outcome that could have happened in this.
Yeah, I mean,
scenario,
it's like
right?
Definitely weird to, I don't know. I can see wanting to post videos of your kids, but
because think about this too, going both ways. Like, imagine there's like a nanny, probably younger, maybe like early college age, high school age or whatever. And then she's like taking videos of the baby and stuff, and then just starts like uploading it. And you're like, I don't know if I want, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like as the parent,
feel like you just have to ask.
You have to ask. And especially in an environment like that where you're like, I don't know, it's just like changing into a baby. Like, maybe, it just feels
a little weird.
Even weirder,
Well, I mean, in terms of recording people that don't want to be recorded, I was in Amish country and I went into a store of a non-Amish guy. It was like the only store open on Sunday. And I was like, hey, I'm just like, and then he looks at my camera and he's like has like a thick accent. He's like, are you recording? I mean, like, yeah, I said I was making a video. And he's like, shut that down now. I'm like, okay. And I like shut it down. I'm like, hey, sorry, I didn't mean to do anything. And he's like, I will call my lawyer right now. I will call my lawyer right now. I know who you are and I know what you do. And I'm like, I have no idea who you think I
doubted a little, but
and he's like, I will call my lawyer. I will call my lawyer. I'm like, all right, dude, like I'm leaving. And he starts like yelling at me and berating me, right? I go out of his little shop, which like I was about to buy something. He just drove away business. Yeah. But I go out of his shop. I'm walking down the street and then I come back and then he is pacing outside of his store, then locks eyes with me and starts running across the street, like fist clenched. And I'm like, yo, dude, I don't want to talk to you. He's like, I know who you are. I know what you do. I know who you are. I know what you do. And starts like yelling and yelling and yelling. And I'm like, dude, don't talk to me. And I was with my friend Bryce and he started talking to the guy and he's like, hey, like, don't worry. We're not going to put you in the video, and like tries to calm him down. But I was just like not trying to engage because it looked like he was about to swing at me, but he was pissed. That was in public.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
It was crazy
interaction.
Yeah. It was nuts.
Coming soon, the man that attacked Sam. YouTube video. No, just kidding. But wow, what an insane. Yeah, I wonder if anyone else has any like stories along those lines of like either
people who are being recorded.
Yeah, people are recording maybe even like by accident. You know, you're recording your friend, or like someone just does something weird on the accidental exposures.
Some
of
people
recordings.
are weird about being like online too.
It's true. It's true.
We are not. So
That's true.
Share this video with all your friends.
Please do. I opened up to my boyfriend about my past sugar daddy, and he didn't take it well, and now I might lose my job.
What is your job, being a sugar mama? A sugar baby?
Yeah.
My boyfriend is mad that I'm currently exchanging sexual favors for my sugar daddy.
So I, 36 female, was fortunate to have a long and loving marriage to a wonderful man for 12 years. Sadly, he passed away in a car accident 2 years ago, just before the beginning of the pandemic. Between grieving and the pandemic, I did not date at all for about 1.5 years, but decided to try to get out there and meet some people this past summer once it was over. Online dating was just kind of a bust, but in the fall, I connected with Joe, 37 male, who works at the same large company as me, but in a completely different department. We're not in the same chain of command, and our paths do not cross at all in terms of our work. We just met at the employee gym. We had lunch a few times and ultimately decided to start spending time together outside of work, evolving into a relationship we agreed to describe as committed casual.
Committed casual.
I have never heard that term before.
I guess it's like we're exclusively hooking up with each other, but we're not putting any labels on.
Right. Like, you're my side piece, but my one and only side piece.
Yeah, exactly.
As in monogamous, but just having fun and not planning for a future together. We initially decided to do things this way because Joe is relocating this summer to another company office across the country. So with an expiration date looming, we wanted to enjoy each other's company without any particular expectations. This worked well for me too, because a big part of me was still grieving my husband. And as of a few months ago, I was not ready to think of a lifelong commitment to anyone else, which is like very understandable,
valid.
Honestly. About a week ago, Joe told me that he was really falling for me and might want to rethink the casual categorization.
That always happens. It
always happens.
You can't keep casual. One party is going to want to dress up for the occasion.
Oh, goodness. I told him I was feeling the same way.
Oh, really? Where's the sugar babiness coming in?
Well, get ready, because I'm about to sprinkle you with all kind of sugar, buddy.
Sprinkle it.
But that I had to tell him something about my past with the understanding that it might be a deal breaker.
Uh-oh.
Specifically, I had a very rough upbringing with parents who were both addicts, alcoholics, and instead of going in a bad direction, I threw myself into school and I managed to graduate early from high school and got a full scholarship to college at the age of 16.
Dude, that's a really big secret that you just shared. Really big, dark, deep secret.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like pretty...
That she pulled herself out of poverty.
You know... Yeah, I mean, it's a very positive secret to keep, I might say.
Positive, deep, dark secret.
Yeah.
All right, where's the actual secret? I want to hear it.
However, when I got to college, despite having my tuition, room, and board covered, I was still broke and didn't have enough money for things like clothes and toiletries, etc. I really struggled for the first couple of months. Due to my age being under 18, I was turned down for the on-campus jobs I applied for. Ugh, that absolutely sucks. The father of one of my college friends,
daddy?
A divorced man in his 40s who lived in the local town, noticed my difficulties and offered to help me out a little bit.
Yeah, just out of the kindness of his heart, right?
Oh yeah, well, just what a sweet man.
Oh, and she's underage. Mm-hmm. She's 17.
I realize now that he was grooming me into entering a sugar daddy / baby type relationship, but I didn't see it at the time.
Oh, yikes.
He bought me food and clothes and mentored me while I had trouble in my classes and gave me a place to go when I wanted to go off campus. Our relationship didn't turn intimate for a few months, but eventually it did. 16 was the age of consent in the state, so technically this was not illegal, although morally wrong in retrospect.
Definitely weird.
Yeah, very weird. It lasted throughout the time that I was 16 to 17 and really did help me survive. Mostly it was him buying me practical things that I needed for school or just living, not luxury items, with a small amount of pocket money, $20 to $40 here and there. When I turned 18, we mutually decided to end it, and I was able to get a couple part-time on-campus jobs.
That's so weird.
Yeah, that is very, very, very,
super
very
predatory.
weird. Like massively predatory. And like 16, 17, like, oh my God.
Like a 40-year-old.
I graduated at 20 and went on to get a master's degree and now have a good career. I never had further contact with the older man. My classmate, who was his daughter, ended up transferring to another college and we lost touch. Although I did look him up online now and then over the years and understood that he passed away a few years ago. I never repeated this sort of arrangement with anyone else. I met my husband a couple of years after things ended with the older guy and he knew everything and he accepted me. But back to Joe. I would have completely understood him not wanting to have an emotionally serious relationship with someone who essentially made it through college as a sex worker. So I wasn't that surprised that he was upset and angry and that he broke up with me.
But how about the context? Context.
I have some. Well,
and also, like, I don't know if I view that as like sex worker.
No, like this is, what we can dive more into in the end, but I think this is very, very benign. Other than from the guy's perspective.
The guy's perspective, it's weird, but from
her side, like I do not think I think is very far from worth breaking up with someone over.
Yeah.
Very far.
But I mean, hey, he can break up with whoever he wants to break up with,
However, I did not expect that he would go to HR at our mutual employer, telling them that I had hidden my sex work past and asked them to discipline me for misconduct.
What? And it wasn't even sex work.
This is insane. I just found out about this on Friday and I am reeling. I know what I did was wrong, at least morally speaking, but I was under 18 and it was about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't think that my sex life as a teenager 2 decades ago is my employer's business.
It's not.
It is not. I have to go in for a meeting about it on Tuesday, and I am just sick with worry that I'm going to get fired. So I guess I'm just looking for opinions here. Like, how in the wrong am I? Should I just try to apologize to Joe? What should I say to my employer? I am feeling very lost and scared.
Wow, this guy is a piece of work.
There is an update where I think we find out what happens.
Man, I can't. It's so weird that he went to the employer. I don't understand why he would do that.
What an asshole.
What an asshole.
Like,
so insecure.
I've known people that have been in
sugar daddy situations.
Like a very casual, like, it wasn't anything crazy.
Roommates that were doing sugar daddy.
It kind of makes sense, especially a lot of them. It's just like go out to dinner and stuff like that.
They
so
just have dinner paid for.
And look, you know what? If he doesn't want to stay with her, whatever. It's his.
But to go to our employer,
that is so just
the employer. There's nothing to be done.
No.
Like, I don't even know why they're taking it seriously.
It just doesn't seem like a big deal at all to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're just so progressive.
Yeah, we're so woke. Woke daddies. But let's see what happened here in this update. I know many folks requested an update after my meeting with HR that took place earlier this week. First, I did retain an attorney who accompanied me to the meeting. That is actually genius. That was really smart. Unfortunately, it didn't really help in this case as I was fired for cause. Oh my God. No severance or transition period due to the potential to bring scandal/shame to the company for my past as a prostitute.
Where's the proof?
Yeah.
Where's the proof?
Like, how do they have legal grounds to do this? Not just the proof, but also discrimination laws, employment laws. Like, I feel like this is breaking
every law,
like multiple things.
I don't understand how they could do that. I'm surprised the lawyer didn't help. I feel like there's an ability to have a lawsuit here.
Definitely, which hopefully is what happens. Even though my company doesn't have a morality clause restricting sexual behavior or anything, even though it was 20 years ago, and even though it was one relationship and not ongoing escort work. Yes, I am exploring further legal action both against my former employer and Joe, mostly against the company, as I'm investigating, for example, if they have penalized women for their sexual past, but not men. Yeah, if they pull this kind of bullshit, like...
It doesn't make sense to penalize someone for their sexual past.
There's no proof. So many like laws they're breaking and so many things they're doing wrong here at the company.
Why couldn't she just say, yeah, I had a relationship with a guy and he supported me?
What is the deal?
A lot of men support their partners.
What's the difference between like a relationship where it's like we just call each other boyfriend and girlfriend
but
this
sometimes
just
he
has-
pays for things. Like, this is bull.
Thankfully, I've been very careful with money and have enough to set aside to manage for a few years if needed until I can get this resolved. I know this isn't the most satisfying update, but I know a lot of people were curious about what did happen at the meeting. I do remain grateful for so many kind comments on my original post. Some more info. No, I'm not going to name and shame in terms of the company. Wish I could, but after this post/thread, I won't be discussing further to avoid compromising my case. Maybe way down the road once any legal issues are resolved. Wow, what a ridiculously insane thing for an employer to do.
I know. I can't imagine that it's legal. I feel like they're going to get screwed.
Yeah, I would heavily suggest OP get a second opinion from another lawyer. If the lawyer was like, oh, it's just caught, like even us, like we're not lawyers, but I feel like they're making so many laws.
Yeah.
And just generally being assholes.
Yeah. This doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
But what do you think? I mean, I would love to hear your answers in the comments. And also, who's been a sugar baby? We've got to have some sugar babies in the comments. Please share your sugar baby stories.
Please do it.
Okay. We'll see you soon.
See you.